Ever wonder if your dog can find morel mushrooms? Let's train them together. Follow along, and I'll show you exactly how I get my dogs to indicate on morel mushrooms in the woods. The first step is teaching them to indicate the training room, and then we move it to the yard, and the last and final is the hunt in the woods. Now let's get into it, and we'll show you all three of those steps. Now we're in the training room getting ready to do our first session. Remember, we're doing it in an area where there's no distractions, just you and the dog. Real quick, I'm going to go over everything I use to do this training. I have dried morels that I buy. I rehydrate them in water, which I've already done here. From there, I also buy fake morels. These are just like yard ornaments. I put the screw in the end of them so I can stick them in the ground or in a block of wood. I'll go over more of that in a minute. But we take this one, I take the rehydrate, and I just wrap it all around to get the scent on there. So now I have a morel that looks like a real one and also smells like a real one. I stick it in this block of wood just so it'll set up on the concrete floor. When we go outside, you'll see I just be able to stick it straight into the dirt. Now, most importantly, I have my dog. We have Prairie here. Oh, I guess I almost forgot the treats. I use treats for this. It's a reward-based program. I'll have all the links of everything here down below. So you guys, if you guys want to give this a try, you can just click on those links and get all your stuff. But how this works, now remember, Prairie's already done this. So she's gonna indicate pretty easily. But this is how I start it. I have the dog, I have the morel on the block of wood. I put it on the ground. When they indicate, yes, I mark and reward. And we repeat this. And then eventually I say, mushrooms, yes. One more time, mushrooms, yes. So, now what I'll say about this before we move on is that, remember, it's not going to happen that quick. And your final response, it just has to be a static position, in my opinion. It could be sitting, it could be standing. They just need to be standing there still, staring at the morel. Once you get that, you start marking and rewarding. You'll see that that behavior will repeat more and more. If you're struggling with this, make your area smaller. You know, do it in a bathroom, or if you got a little fence, like a doggy playpen, an X pen, or something like that. Make your area so it's just you and your dog. Eventually, your dog will give you a behavior you want. You mark and reward. You do this a bunch till no matter where you put this, they come in and lay down. Yes. And then I mark and reward. She's going to do it one more time. So really, yes, I want her looking at it before I mark. That's the behavior I want, for them to laying down or sitting and staring at the mushroom. This is the first step. Get it good in here. You can do little games of hide and seek. After you get it like that, little games of hide and seek. You'll go through and hide some morels, walk into the room, give her the signal. Mine's mushrooms. So they go start, when I say that, they'll start actively searching for it in the room. Don't hide them really hard, but just kind of, so they go and find it. Once you get that, then we're ready to move outside, and we'll show you that next. Now we're outside. When I start the outside training, I, of course, have the morel. Try not to touch it without your gloves on. We was talking before, and I switched hands. Anyways, try to keep the human scent off to start with. Use your gloves. So the second outside basically looks the exact same way as inside. The difference is we're outside now, and I can just stick it in the ground. So I stick it here. Mushrooms. 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 No. Mushrooms. Show me. Show me. Where's that? Yes. So actually Prairie was a little sticky on that. Got outside, got some distractions out, more distractions. And it's been a while since we've done this training with her. So she did indicate on it, but she was sitting on it and staring and then standing and staring, and that's not what I want. I want her to lay down. It's just what I've asked of them. Remember, you do what is comfortable for your dog. And if you notice now, inside, she laid down on it, no problem. We get outside, and she's not wanting to. This is just part of the training. We have to get them doing a good here before we can move to the woods, because you will see this exact same thing happen in the woods. Now, how I fix this is I encourage them to do it. So, hey, mushroom. Hey, no, mushroom. Yes. So I helped her out a little bit. Good girl. Mushroom. Mushroom. Yes. Now remember, anytime we're doing this, we got to help the dog as much as we need to. As little as possible, but as much as needed. Mushroom. No. Mushroom. Yes. You see she's starting to get it picked back up. From here, mushroom. Once again, yes, I want her to looking at it. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pick this up. From here, we do the exact same thing. So I've got her right in front of me indicating on it. I want a really strong indication there every time. You know, this might take a few sessions, maybe several sessions. But after we get that, then we start, once again, hiding them. Make it easy at first, then make it a little harder. And that's just in a yard that they're familiar with. So there's less distractions. If it's a yard where they go out and go potty all the time, they're used to the yard. There won't be so many distractions. Do it there, and then we'll show you in the woods next. All right, we're in the woods now. I have my mushroom. I've already buttered it up. We've already prepped that. I got my gloves on again. It's pretty much the same thing as before, you know, in the training room. Outside, it all starts the exact same way. We have our fake Morel that looks and smells like a real one. I have our dog Winston. So I have switched dogs this time. I have Winston here. So once again, they're here in front of me. They've seen this picture, but now it's different because now we're in the woods. So I say mushroom, I put it on the ground. When he indicates on it, and he knows, yes, and looks at it, looks at it, I mark and reward. We repeat that over and over again. And eventually, I'll be like, when I get to the woods, how I work this is I put the mushroom down. Winston, mushroom, mushroom. Yes. And I pull him away from it. So he's eating the treat and I'm walking away a little bit. So now he has to go back to it. Mushroom. Mushroom. Yes. And I keep creating more and more distance from that. Mushroom. Nope, mushroom. Yes. And so there, like this last time, I'd back up even further. I would just keep getting more and more distance from the mushroom. We're done. Done. That way he knows, starts seeing a picture of it's not just the mushroom in front of me, because that will happen. If he's always in front of you, that's what he'll only lay down on it when it's in front of you. And the idea isn't for us to find it and then for him to find it after us. It's for him to find it first. So we want to start showing them by using this fake one, putting it down, marking and rewarding. When I mark and reward, I take a couple steps back until eventually I'm 100 yards away, and they have to come run all the way back up and lay down on it. So that teaches them, once again, that it's not just the mushroom in front of me, it's the mushroom anywhere in the woods. And then we start playing that hide and seek game again. We just we'll make it simple. You know, I'll put it down a path. I'll put a couple. I'll make sure the wind's good. So the wind's blowing the path here. The wind's blowing this way. I'll put them on this side. So when the dog runs down the path, he's smelling it and going to it, finding it, making it easy for him to lay down on. There's a lot of brush in here. Remember, in the springtime, you'll find morels in that brush. Eventually, you'll want to hide fake ones in there to show the dog that they have to go in there to find it, or at least to indicate from the outside, however that picture might look for them. But this is where we continue to train. This is where most of your training is going to take place the rest of the year. we do the work in the training room, we do the work in our yard, but this is where we do it. The last thing I had to say is, as you're progressing in your training, make sure that you show every picture that you would encounter when you naturally go. So if you go out in the woods and you walk for an hour and never, if you've ever went to the woods and walked for an hour and never found anything, make sure you show your dog that picture. And then boom, after an hour, boom, all of a sudden you find some. You know, if you want a really good morel dog, you have to kind of think of any time you went out morel hunting and kind of show them that picture. Sometimes we walk out 5 minutes in the woods, we find 10 pounds, right? Which of course we wouldn't probably have that many fakes, but have several fakes in one area shortly after. The point is, if you've seen it while you're out personally hunting them, make sure your dog sees it in the training. Good luck. Let me know if you have any questions.